Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm back with another video. Today, I stumbled upon an actual very interesting video. A very like cool concept. Why no military on Earth could survive invading America? America, United States, the best country of all time. Um, why are we so powerful? Basically, nah. America, bro. One thing you should all know, bro, if you're not from America, is that we invest heavily in our military. Heavily.
Picture every country as a medieval castle, complete with towering walls, secret traps, and all sorts of defenses to protect the crown. In this scenario, the United States stands out as the toughest castle in the world. So, when someone asks, what would it really take to invade the United States? It opens up a fascinating conversation about how geography, demographics, and military strength come together to make the US one of the hardest countries to invade in modern history. But to understand why invading America is so
No,
difficult,
I honestly thought it was Switzerland because I be hearing that it's actually very hard to invade Switzerland because of the mountains and shit and just like traps and stuff. Was that Switzerland? Yeah, I think it was Switzerland.
we need to start with
I
what
thought Switzerland
makes
was the hardest.
invasions successful in the first place. Military historians point to several key factors: the element of surprise, manageable supply lines, and crucially, the ability to establish a foothold and expand from there. It just so happens that America's unique geographic position eliminates almost every advantage that has made invasions in the past possible. Let's start with the most obvious barrier: the oceans. The United States sits between two of the world's largest bodies of water. The Atlantic Ocean stretches roughly 3,000 miles to Europe, while the Pacific spans an even more formidable 5,000 miles to
Damn.
Asia. But it's not just about distance, it's about what that distance means for a would-be invader. You see, modern naval warfare depends heavily on supply chains, fuel, and the ability to maintain communication across vast distances. Any naval force attempting to cross either ocean to invade America.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, I can never be in one of these ships, bro. Like, bro, imagine being in these ships in the middle of nowhere in the ocean, bro. Bro, it's like, it's cooked. Because if it sinks, bro, you're cooked. If you somehow fall off and they forget about you, you're cooked. Like, no, actually, if you fall off from one of these ships, I'm pretty sure you'll die. Especially if you could get caught on the spinny thing under it. I forgot what they call those. The spinny things. But like, I'm not gonna lie to you, cruise ships and whatever, bro, I cannot do that shit. Traveling across the middle of the ocean, bro, no, I couldn't, bro.
Would be operating at the
It's cooked.
extreme limits of its logistical capabilities. Consider this: the D-Day invasion, one of the most successful amphibious assaults in history, involved crossing just 100 miles of the English Channel. Roughly speaking, it required approximately 156,000 Allied troops, around 5,000 ships, and months of preparation, all supported by established bases in Britain. Now imagine scaling that operation across 3,000 to 5,000 miles of
Yeah,
open
it's
ocean,
raps. It's
with no
raps.
friendly territory to stage from. The logistics behind such an invasion become even more daunting when you consider detection. Modern satellite surveillance, radar networks, and maritime patrol aircraft make it virtually impossible to move large naval forces without anybody noticing. Any invasion fleet would be spotted days, if not weeks, before reaching American shores, giving US forces more than enough time to prepare defensive positions. But what about launching an invasion from neighboring countries? After all, the United
Canada or
States shares
Mexico?
borders with Canada and Mexico. Surely that creates vulnerability, right? Unfortunately for any invader, they're deeply integrated into American military and economic systems. Canada is a NATO member and one of America's closest security partners. Mexico, while not in NATO, has extensive military cooperation agreements with the US and depends heavily on American trade. For any
Yeah.
hostile
Yeah.
nation to use these countries as invasion routes,
Yeah,
they would
they're
first.
not backstabbing, bro. They're not backstabbing. Actually, I think today we're like Loki kind of have a bad relationship. I thought we had a bad relationship with Canada as of recently. I guess we don't, or maybe we do. I don't know. But even if we do have a bad relationship, it's not like they will turn on us, bro. Cause come on, bro. Both Canada and Mexico rely heavily on America.
Need to
Let's be
conquer or
honest.
coerce them. In other words, they would essentially have to
And we
launch
and we
two
we rely
separate
on them. I
military
think maybe
campaigns
I don't know.
before even reaching American territory. This would
No, we
require
definitely
force
do for trade.
projections of unprecedented scale and would trigger immediate American response. But let's imagine, hypothetically, that all of that somehow became possible. Even then, the geographic challenges are staggering. An invasion from the north would have to cross the Canadian Shield, a massive area of rocky terrain and forests, then navigate the Great Lakes region. The US military could easily cut supply lines by controlling key transportation hubs like Winnipeg or Thunder Bay, effectively isolating any northern advance. From the south, invaders would face a large concentration of American military power. Recent deployments have placed thousands of American troops along the Mexican border. Any large-scale military movement would once again be detected immediately, and the attacking force would have to advance through some of the most challenging terrain in North America, including the Sonoran and Chihuahuan deserts. But here's where America's
Chihuahuan
defensive advantages become
desert.
even more pronounced. Let's say the invading force somehow established a foothold on American soil. They would immediately confront what you could call a
Bro, this shit looks so beautiful, bro. Oh my god, the mountain ranges, bro. It looks so beautiful.
natural defensive line. The United States is essentially divided by a series of geographic barriers that would force any invading army to
The
fight
Rocky
for every
Mountains,
mile
bro.
of advance. The Rocky Mountain chain runs like a spine through the western part of the country, creating natural choke points that favor America. The Mississippi River system divides the country into distinct regions, each requiring separate river crossings under fire. Military history shows us how devastating river crossings can be. During the Civil War, battles like Fredericksburg and Antietam demonstrated the enormous casualties that result from forced river crossings against prepared defenses. Now imagine attempting such crossings against modern military
Bro,
technology.
yeah, because obviously, bro, you see a ship, bro, and America has weapons like this, bro. They can just fire off, like, basically these weapons, bro, can just fire off and hits the ships, bro. Your ship sinks, bro. You're done, bro. You have a bunch of troops swimming, trying to survive in the ocean, trying to swim out, bro. But they can't, bro, because the closest land is America, and they're screwed. Because they're not welcoming nobody. Now, this is all, like, land cross. This is all, like, ocean, right? But, like, how about, like, air? Yeah, I think air is cooked too, bro. Because I'm pretty sure America has one of the best airplanes, like attack planes in the world.
Precision artillery,
Not one of
air
us,
support,
the best.
and guided munitions, all directed by satellite surveillance and real-time intelligence. There is absolutely no shot of sustaining an invasion in this case. But perhaps America's most unique defensive advantage is its civilian population, specifically its relationship with firearms. The United States has the highest rate of civilian gun ownership in the world, with 120.5 firearms for every 100 civilians. To put that into perspective, Switzerland only has 27.58 firearms for every 100 civilians.
How
This
much
creates a 7.5 civilians. To put that in, the 120.5 firearms for every 27.58
for every 100
firearms
civilians?
for every
Damn.
100 civilians. A strategic nightmare. Creates a scenario that military planners would probably call a strategic nightmare. It's one thing to defeat a conventional army. It's different to occupy a territory where a significant portion of the civilian population is armed and more than likely hostile. History provides sobering examples of what this looks like. The Soviets in Afghanistan, the Americans in Iraq, and various other occupations throughout the 20th century demonstrate that even the world's most powerful militaries struggle against determined civilian resistance. About 72% of American gun owners cite protection as their primary reason for ownership, suggesting a population already mentally prepared for defensive scenarios. Then there's the simple matter of
Wait,
scale.
what was the statistics
Prepared
again?
for defensive
Hold up.
reason for ownership.
So 32 for hunting, 30 for sport as a part of gun collections. People really be having gun collections? For their job. 7 for job? Damn. But majority is protection. All right.
leadership, suggesting a population already mentally prepared for defensive scenarios. Then there's the simple matter of scale. The United States covers approximately 3.7 million square miles, making it the third largest country in the world by land area. It is larger than Australia, which has an area of about 2.9 million square miles. The US is more than twice the size of the European Union, which covers around 1.7 million square miles. Additionally, the US is roughly comparable in size to the entire continent of Europe, which
Really?
has an area of about 3.9 million square miles. The distances involved are
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I thought no, because on the map, I kind of damn, America's really bigger than the whole Europe. Damn. Well, that makes sense though, cause like I'm pretty sure like Texas is bigger than Spain or something. Or I read something about that, like Texas being bigger than one of the European countries. I forgot which country.
shocking from a military perspective. The distance from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles is about 2,700 miles. In
Mm.
order to sustain any kind of invasion on America, the occupying force would need to maintain
41
supply lines
hours
across these
of
vast
driving.
distances, while facing constant harassment from both organized military resistance and civilian populations. Modern
Did I say
military
41
thinking
hours of
organized
driving?
lines across these vast
40 hours, 40. I don't, bro. I don't even know. Damn, bro. It's
distances,
cooked for
while
anyone trying to
facing
invade
constant
America, bro.
harassment
It's
from both
cooked.
organized military resistance and civilian populations. Modern military thinking focuses on quick and decisive actions because long campaigns can get really expensive and hard to manage. Given the vast size of the United States, pulling off a rapid takeover is pretty much impossible, and keeping troops in place for a long time would cost a fortune. Consider the economic cost for America during the Iraq and Afghanistan campaigns. Both campaigns involved far smaller territories and populations, but still cost the United States trillions of dollars over 2 decades. The scale required to occupy a territory the size of America would dwarf these figures by orders of magnitude. Of course, there's one last factor: nuclear weapons. The
America
United
has the
States
most
maintains
nukes, I'm
one of the
pretty sure.
world's largest nuclear arsenals, and American nuclear doctrine makes it clear that existential threats to the homeland would likely trigger nuclear response. This creates what is also known as
A
mutually
nuke
assured
world.
destruction.
Nuclear
Any
war.
conventional invasion large enough to threaten American territory would likely escalate to nuclear conflict long before achieving its objectives. This reality fundamentally changes the calculus for any potential adversary that is thinking about invading America. So, to return to our original question, what would it really take to invade the United States? The answer to that question reveals why no serious military strategist considers a conventional invasion of America a viable option. It simply just wouldn't be worth it. But what do you think?
Bro, deadass, bro. I don't really be realizing it, but America is huge, bro. Like, we have states that are bigger than the actual countries, bro. That's crazy to actually think about, bro. Like, bro, America's humongous, bro. Hold up, let me find something actually. Hold up, give me a sec. All right. So like, damn, this is one state in America, Texas, compared to Europe, bro. Damn. Damn, bro, cause I don't, bro, I just be in my mind. I be thinking Europe is much bigger than it actually is, bro. But like, one state in America is huge compared to Europe, bro. Like, damn, like this is just Texas, and look how big it is compared. Damn, it's crazy. Anyways, basically, it's impossible to invade America. America is so huge, and the military power. Just putting aside the military power, America's it's just huge, and the geographic of it, the oceans and whatever, bro. Just looking at the geographic features, bro, it'd be very difficult to invade America, bro. On top of the whole military power and stuff, it's crazy. But hey, comment down below what y'all think. What y'all think, what y'all like, what you didn't like about the video, and what y'all want me to react to next. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.